If you used AI to write your cover letter, so did everyone else. Last year alone, business applicants rose 18% in a single year. That means more competition, more noise, and everyone armed with the same tools, which obviously produce the same output. This is exactly what makes it so hard to stand out. But here's what everyone misses. AI, it's not the problem. It's how you use it. And today, I'm going to show you the approach that separates candidates and is not about your CV. If you're new here, hi, I'm Cindy. It took me 2 years of rejections to understand how to get into sports. But once I did, I landed a role at Adidas while still being a student. And in this channel, I show you exactly that. How to get in regardless of your experience, just with a clear strategy. And of course, once you get in, how to grow. If this sounds like you, consider to subscribe and let's get into the video. Before I tell you what to do, I want to ask you a question. Do you know what makes you stand out? I mean, what comes naturally to you that does not to most people? Most people freeze with this question. And when they unfreeze, they start listing hard skills that were acquired over the years or anything generic that they know that the interviewer wants to hear. But here's the problem. You cannot stand out in the room if you don't know what makes you stand out before you even walk in. And honestly, AI cannot fix that for you. There's no prompt in the world that will help you if you haven't done this first. And unfortunately, I had to learn this the hard way. I had a CV that looked alright on a paper. I had Imperial College under my name. I had already some working experience in a multinational company. I've had multiple languages, but still things were not moving forwards for me. And the hardest part about the rejections is that I still didn't know why. I was checking my CV and I realized that I looked the same like everyone else. So in theory, I did everything right, but I was still struggling to answer the simple question of what made me different. So at some point, I just stopped applying and I started asking myself that exact question. That's where everything shifted. It was no longer about my experience, but it was about the angle. And the angle is what got me into Adidas. And here's what I want you to understand. Everyone has what I called a default strength. It's the thing that others notice, but you overlook. It's a thing that completely comes naturally to you, but is generally valuable to others. And the problem is because it comes so natural to you, you don't see it as special. So you never lean into it. But this is exactly where I want you to use AI, not to write your CV, but to help you excavate exactly what makes you you. And now I want you to open whatever AI you use and give it this exact prompt. I also put it down for you on the description, so you just copy paste it so you don't have to write the entire thing. I want you to ask it. Give me this question one by one. After I answer each, analyze my response and tell me what it reveals about my experience that makes it unique. Something that would make me stand out in an interview or in a meeting with a decision maker. Then I want you to answer these 7 questions. 1. What insight have I collected from my experience that others would have totally missed? And here, it's not about what you've done, but what you've noticed. Let's say that you work as a retailer. One can say that I've served customers, which is totally fine, but the observant person can say, I've noticed that customers don't actually care about the features, but they care about finding that product quickly and easy. And this is the type of things I want you to think about when answering that question. And the second one is, where did I've created results, even if I wasn't paid for? And here's where most people that just graduate would say, well, I have no experience. But what they mean is that they don't have a formal experience, but everyone has a sort of experience in their life. If I will turn the question and give you 24 hours and you have to tell me what's the value that you have brought, what would you say? Would you tell me something you fixed? Would you tell me something that you improved? Would you tell me something you've learned by learning a language or by learning a tool? What would be the learnings you've gained throughout your life? Number 3 is, what is the patterns I notice that people on my level overlook? Can you explain something about the sports industry that beginners can't? Because if you're able to identify patterns, honestly, you're going to be so much further than most of people at your level. Now, number 4 is about being creative. I want you to think about a company, a product, that you want to work with. And here I want you to pick something that genuine interest. If it's that specific company, that specific product, and look into it, how would you improve their customer journey? How would you improve their user experience? How would you improve their app? What would you do instead? And number 5, what part of your journey was difficult that most people around you avoided? And what did it train you to handle better than others? Because normally the things that you struggled with is the things that makes you valuable. In my case, after I graduated, I went to work in Austria. Totally different culture, totally different language, totally different environment. I needed to adapt. I needed to learn not only how to work in a multinational company, but I also needed to navigate a totally different culture around me. So that is very specific to me. Number 6, what do people constantly come to you? Do they come to you because they want you to explain something? Do they come to you because they want you to organize it? Do they come to you because they want you to give them feedback? That's your edge. And the funny thing is that most people around you will never mention it because it just feels obvious. Number 7, it's a hard one, but I'm going to take the time. If you remove your CV, your degree, AI, how would you prove that you're better than the other 100 applicants? And here, it's not about saying, it's about showing. A breakdown of a topic, a video, anything else that you've done throughout your degree, outside your degree, out of your interest. What's that one thing that you put your heart on that you can showcase for yourself? Because the people who can stand out, they are able to demonstrate value. It's not just about describing it. This exercise will take you some time. After you've done the 7 questions, I want you to ask it to summarize everything and ask you a follow-up question. And that summary right there is your angle. It's what makes you stand out. But that is just halfway. Now, how do you use that in an interview or in a meeting with a decision maker? Most candidates answer questions in an interview by describing what they did. But the ones that stand out are the ones that reveal the way they think. Let's take a question that's going to be in every interview, which is, tell me a bit about yourself. The average candidate will walk you through their CV. But let's be honest, why would the hiring manager or the HR person need you to walk them through the CV? They have that in their hands. That's why doing this in a chronological way is honestly super forgettable. But if you've done this work, you have that something that most people don't. So instead of reciting your CV, you're going to lean in to your edge. I want you to go back to AI, and here's another prompt I want you to use. Based on everything I share with you, write me a 60-second answer to tell me about yourself that leads with my unique angle, not my CV. Make it sound like a person talking, not a LinkedIn summary. Believe me, the difference is day and night. You're no longer describing your past in a chronological way. You're already demonstrating your value before you even been asked a follow-up question. And the thing is that this is extremely unique to you. No one can replicate that because this is your story. This is what makes you unique. And this is exactly why people will remember it, because it's linked to you. So once you know your angle and how to use it, the next thing you need is for the right person to see it. And that means you need to get your outreach right. I made a video on exactly that, why most LinkedIn messages get ignored and what to do instead. I hope I'll see you there. If not, until the next one. Bye!